I got more money for you. $1,000 if you were to put a value on it. About 8 minutes from now. Another keyword to grab $1,000 from the Buzzard bookie. So be listening for those. Your Cleveland Cavaliers will play tomorrow night, your season opener. They're on the road. They're in Toronto to play the Raptors. That's a 7:30 tip-off tomorrow night here on WMMS. And the home opener 2 nights later. This Friday night, 7:30 tip, they'll be hosting the Detroit Pistons. Cavs home opener, Friday night. All of it here on MMS. I was reading, watching a little bit of the a media day with the Celtics coach. Did you watch the thing with the Celtics coach?
No.
This guy named Joe Mazzulla is the coach of the Celtics. I think they are the reigning champs. Did they win the championship last season?
They won last season.
And they, sit down with the guy and they're like, hey, how do you feel about things? They're kind of the rare championship team where they've changed almost none of the roster. They have just about every single one of the guys back. And they were asking Joe Mazzulla, do you feel pressure? He's the guy that replaced Doc Rivers, yeah?
No.
Who's the guy that got knocked out with all of the he was having sexy time with a subordinate.
I think he's at
on
Houston
the phone.
now. I can't remember his name.
Not Doc Rivers. Who was it? Mel. He was dating an actress, and then she found out.
He was dating
Nia Long.
Yeah.
Who was that guy?
I can't remember his name, though.
It was Ime Udoka.
Yeah.
So he had been with Nia Long for 13 years.
Can't believe we couldn't remember that name.
I know.
It's right there, guys.
So anyway, long story. They get this Joe Mazzulla guy to replace. Did he have the whole season with them, or did he replace him mid-season? The championship season.
I think he had the whole season.
He did, okay.
Because that happened like a year and a half or two.
Oh, it did.
Like a while. Yeah.
Well, anyway, they asked him, hey, do you feel pressure? And he goes, nope, because we're all going to be dead soon.
Hell yeah.
And none of it'll matter. I wonder if any of the players' ears perked up. They're like, is he trying to tell us something, or does he just mean it in like a larger existential sense? Trying to put our minds at ease. This too shall pass, or we will all be dead soon.
Nothing matters, man.
So now the question is, what does the coach of the Boston Celtics know that we don't? We all know that we will eventually die, but he said we're going to be dead soon. So keep your eyes.
Soon is a relative term anyway. So
keep your eyes on Boston. What is the latest something can be soon? I was having a conversation with my daughter, and we were making the delineations between kind of some when you refer to things in a numerical value. She's like, could several be 2? And I said, no. Several, I think in people's brains, they associate several with 7 maybe. I said, if you have 2, you've got a couple. I'm just, just general terminology.
A few is 3.
3, 4, yeah, you got a few. Several would be. What is the farthest away that soon could be?
I think it depends on what you're talking about.
Well, Bill said it's relative. So
because
I'm kind of trying to zero in on.
If it's you're going to die, soon is 6 months. But if it's when's your pizza coming, 6 months is not soon. You know what I mean?
Well, because the timeline is longer. Okay, right. So it does depend on what you're talking about.
It's completely relative.
Well, and it's funny you mention that because, you might remember probably 20 years ago, it was kind of the gold standard. Domino's Pizza used to do, we will have your pizza there in 6 months or it's free.
That doesn't sound familiar.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. They had a whole ad campaign behind it.
Revolutionary. It was in Dirty Work.
Mm-hmm. That's the Noid. Stay away from him. Yeah. Marge knew. She was all over it. And my Chicago Bears, they have determined, have the hardest remaining schedule for this season.
I think it's still going to be harder for the Browns considering they're so bad.
The Browns stink. You want to talk about relative?
Yeah.
I mean, the Bears have the rare winning season right now. They're 4-2. Browns really stink. So every team that they play, they're going to roll over them. But of the Bears' 11 remaining games, 9 of them are against teams that are currently in playoff spots. So when they've crunched all the data, my Bears, they had their bye week. They've got a tough schedule. See, what I think will be interesting about the Browns is what, from here on out, what team will they happen to beat? Because that will happen. They probably won't go winless the remainder of the season. What team will they happen to beat? Beat the odds? It's one thing to beat a team like the Jaguars when they're in the basement just like you, but even they could beat you. What do they say? Any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday in the game of football. So, we'll have, are we going to have Whoopsie's picks tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, I guess we got to do it
because
early,
we're out Thursday and Friday?
Yeah, we'll have them tomorrow.
Is there a science fair tomorrow, or are you not feeling it?
No, we can do it.
Given your befuddlement, I don't want that to get in the way.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll
listen, on the occasion of Mary leaving the show, I've had, I'm sure we've all gotten them, but I've gotten a lot of messages from people saying, why don't you just have Cody? Why don't you have Pound Cake back on the show? And my answer is, I'm always moving forward. I'm not looking backward. I'm looking forward.
And also, what Mary makes isn't going to move the needle
It's
much
not
on
gonna
that.
bring him back.
No.
Hey,
Pound Cake left
Yeah.
for the benefits,
Yeah.
all right? And that ain't going to change.
Of which I have 0.
Right. It ain't going to change. But more than that, I assume, I don't hear from him, but I'm sure he's doing fine. I'm not looking backwards. I'm looking forwards.
Yeah.
So-
Just tell everyone who's replacing me. Just come out and say Plank Jackson.
Plank Jackson, yep. Yeah, so it's I've got a couple of candidates in the pipeline. I don't want to pull the curtain back too far, but it will probably be Drunk Sue. But
Hell yeah.
listen, I wanted somebody who kind of represented Mary in the before times,
Yes.
and I thought, who better? But it'll be fine. Everything. You know who I think of?
Who?
That dude who leaves nonstop hateful messages for you.
Oh, was
What
it yesterday?
is he? Well, I'm sorry.
I'd say was yesterday the best day of his life.
He was on fire.
I was like, yeah, man, this
But
great,
what is he
I love
gonna
it.
do? Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, because now what's he gonna hate? He'll
Right.
move his hate. He'll move his hate to something.
Well,
else.
he'll pivot because it's not going to turn into glowing reviews every single day, right? People who are angry about one thing, they're usually angry about more than one thing. That might be his default position for all I know. I can't imagine one person that he doesn't know and can actively avoid engendering that much, right? You're not obligated to listen to this no matter who's on it.
Yeah.
To throw yourself into that voluntarily and get upset. It's bad for your mental health.
Well, that's
Bad
when
for your brain, bad for your body to put yourself in a position that makes you angry all the time.
That's when it comes back to me being the problem because I ruined their favorite show. Usually, I was the downfall of this program.
I see. Not according to those dudes that called yesterday. Left
Couple of
messages
them.
yesterday. Yeah, they were all about it. And one guy said, you were the only thing that makes this show bearable.
Yeah.
He can't bear it in your absence.
Oh, and I get to be.
Think about that.
I get to be scrutinized, and people are like, "Oh, Bill's not even trying to further his career because he's not even doing what Mary's doing." So that's a nice.
Meaning
thing.
what? You didn't move to New York?
I didn't want to move to New York. I don't. I just do
You already
local
did that.
shows. I did New York a long time ago. But nothing that happens before the show is of any importance to anybody.
They're
The
like
fact that I was
right
a
in
comedian
the-
on the road for 10 years, no one ever cares about that. No one ever
Yeah.
was like, oh, that like that the life before this. Even though the things that I do, I got the new special coming out. They don't care.
That's what I'm saying.
They just want to go.
You
"Ah,
can't
you're
look
not doing it."
backward, only forward. You can't look backwards.
So not only have I
What did
ruined
Jelly Roll say, Mary?
the windshield's bigger than the rear view.
Windshield's bigger than this. Now I'm inspired. He
See?
finally did it. It took a while for Jelly Roll to pierce my foot-thick skin, but he did it. It's why the windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror, and because it would also be ridiculous for the rear view mirror to be as large as the windshield. It would be
I bet
dangerous.
there's some cars.
It would be
it's about
an
the same.
egregious design flaw, and it would be fundamentally a bad engineering. But Jelly Roll's not an engineer.
So
Not his fault.
I've ruined it for everybody. I ruined the show for the listeners. I've ruined it's comparisons for Bill.
You've ruined drinking.
I've ruined drinking.
Yup, you and
That's
that
for sure.
goddamn sobriety.
You gave
So-
Brian an eating disorder.
I gave Brian. This is just everybody's so happy to see me go.
Although some of our listeners in recovery, you have been their jelly roll.
I've gotten some very very kind messages yesterday to that
course.
degree where people were like, "Hey, I just want to thank you for being open." The two things people reach out to me the most about are sobriety and grief, where they're like, I lost my loved one and I felt like I was just alone in this horrible place in my life, and to hear you also be sad helped. So I do appreciate being able to share that kind of stuff with people. That was very, very nice.
It's funny, a lot of people got mad because there was a Kreischer clip going around where he said stopping drinking doesn't improve anyone's life.
No.
Did you see that?
No.
It was him and Segura talking, and Tom's like, there's a lot of people whose lives are better because they're not drinking. And he goes, nope, it's just them. It's not the drinking, it's them.
That sounds like an alcoholic, if you ask me.
Well, a lot of people had a heyday with that. I got money here
Was
for
he
you.
drunk when he said it?
He's sitting there with some beers. I mean, but he certainly didn't seem drunk. I don't know. $1,000 here, courtesy of the Buzzard bookie. It's a keyword that could put $1,000 in your pocket just in time for the weekend. I hope you win. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Bank. That's bank. Enter it now at WMMS.com.
Caitlin left me another message. Remember, Caitlin left a message on the app yesterday?
Yeah, all the bits she didn't like.
Rattled off all these things about me that she doesn't like, but that she's a fan of the show. And I'm like, I really am going to need some follow-up. She left a message yesterday.
Hey, Alan, this is Caitlin. Just wanted to call in and provide you with some hopefully constructive feedback. In no particular order, all of what I'm about to mention are all horrible segments. Any episode that doesn't have Mary on it or a female presence, I would immediately delete and will not listen to. Any segment with Brian or Wilhelmina or Mozgov or Satan, Dick from Dayton segments, and when you list off your bureau chiefs. I'm sure there's many more, but just those are the ones that come up off the top of my head at the moment. Other than that, genuinely love the show.
Genuinely, which is nice. I like when people are genuine. Now, this is also a thing where people...
That's really sexist of her, though, to say that she just deletes the episode if Mary's not on or there's not a female presence on it, because she doesn't know if it could be the best show she's ever heard, but you're just saying, oh, no woman, not for me. Sexist.
Yep, you're right.
It is.
Also, this is what people get wrong about constructive criticism. It's only constructive
if you're a man giving it to a man.
It's only constructive if you are trying to construct something else. To go, hey, let me give you some constructive criticism. You suck. That's not constructive criticism. I can handle any kind of criticism, but when you call it constructive. Okay, so anyway, I don't know what she left. I saw she left another message.
They're trying to
Hey,
construct you
Alan, this is Caitlin.
They're trying to what?
I said they're trying to construct you to stop sucking.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yes.
Well, that is helpful.
But there's also so many people who love those segments.
I would like to stop sucking.
Some people love the suck.
Every day, you're pushing that rock uphill, Mary.
I know.
You know this.
I know.
Hey, Alan, this is Caitlin. As requested, I am calling back in to let you know what aspects of the show I do like. And to be honest, it had me thinking for a little bit what I do like of your show. What comes to mind is I do like Mary. Very sad to hear that she's leaving. Other than that, I like when you're not being pretentious. I don't know.
Well, she's really got to go noodle on this, doesn't she? She's like, because she told me that she genuinely likes the show, but now she's having a hard time generating things that she likes. And I know she's like under the gun, but she could have called me any time. She could have had a list ready. First of all, I do get the pretentious things sometimes, but I'm never pretentious. It's just that I'm a pretty sharp guy, and a lot of you listening are stupid. That's not pretension. That's just, I don't have a pretentious bone in my body. I'm not any better than anybody else. But again, that's not constructive. I do like Mary. Well, Mary's leaving. Now, again, Caitlin's one person. And nothing's going to change
Yeah,
based
but
on
it
the
sounds like
opinion
she's
of one
got
person.
main character syndrome.
She's a listener like any other, so I always like to hear where people are coming from. But when you leave me a message and go, take some time. Take some time. Make a list. Organize your thoughts. Anyway, thank you, Caitlin. I do appreciate it. Not quite the detailed follow-up I was hoping for, but the man said it. You can't always get what you want. You know, there's going to be no shortage, Mary, of people wishing you a fond farewell. Mm-hmm. There's going to be some celebrities.
Uh-oh.
You want to talk to Diamond David Lee Roth?
Yes.
Hello, Mary.
Hi.
Hello, Alex.
Maybe it's not Diamond
Hey,
David.
I wanted to confirm that you're right about Slimans. The one on St. Clair is the best.
So
I've
good.
gone to all of them, and that is the one where it just melts in your mouth.
Oh,
I've been going there
good
since
for
the
you.
late 89. And I'm sorry to hear you go, but I have a request, and that is for a Halloween show, could you please do your squeaky voice the entire show? I love that voice.
This mock voice when I say the boys be stupid. That one?
That's the one.
The mock. I
That's
thought
the
it was going to
one.
be Diamond David. I didn't know it was Diamond Dave. That's on me. I thought it was going to be Diamond David Lee Roth. That we're going to. Okay, thank you, Diamond Dave. He likes your. It's not really a squeaky voice. That's when you mock me and Bill.
I don't know if you guys could stand that for 4 straight hours.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Just having a regular conversation like that. Well, all I'm saying is when I watched the debate, I saw that Kamala was making more points than Donald Trump was.
They said common law. Were they talking about common law marriages?
Yeah.
Kamala Harris is, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, I see.
I don't think that's not a voice that can be used in serious
Right.
conversation.
All right.
Oh, so I guess Liam Page is did a bunch of cocaine then.
Pink cocaine. Yeah. Well, I will miss that.
Being mocked?
Well, I like the voice.
Okay.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I'll call in and leave you a voicemail every now and then.
All right. Alan, Halloween in Brooklyn was the less successful follow-up to Christmas in Hollis. Remember that for Run DMC, right? It's Christmas time
This is Christmas music.
in Hollis, Queens. Yeah. All right. Well, everybody is going to find a little something that they like, something they don't like, and that's the beauty of it. That is the nature of discourse. Now, of course, I don't know. I'm going to have to forward people to you when they invariably inquire about the status of your foot pics.
Oh, please. I'm not going to have a job. santoratoes@gmail.com. Just got a pedicure today.
She is going to have to up her foot game exponentially.
I'd love it if you bought pictures of my
You got a pedicure today.
I did. I
All
had
right.
a mani-pedi scheduled at 11 a.m.
Do you, on days that you get pedicures, do you post, hey, interested parties, I got fresh pigs right here.
I
Do you
should.
say, sue-wee, piggy, piggy, piggy?
Sweet! No, but I should.
Yeah, you should.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
santoratoes@gmail.com. Look at my feet and pay me for it.
I've got to take a break here. If you're a metal fan, great band called Imminence, WMMS, in 2 hours to midnight are presenting the Imminence show, and would love to have you there. The Return of the Black tour. It's just a couple of weeks away. It's March the 11th, and it's a wild lineup. So if you want to go to that show, I will hook you up coming back.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. This football season, bet with house money with the Buzzard Bookie. You have 9 chances a day to win $1,000. Fill your account and parlay game day away. Keywords come at 30